Good morning, everyone. I am currently setting up for a podcast this morning. I'm a bit excited because it's centered around poetry, and it's not often that when someone wants to collab, it's solely focusing on my poetry. It's usually about culture or things of the like that I talk about. So I'm very excited. I've got my microphone, I've got my headphones. I'm going to chime in, and hopefully I have some good news to report at the end when it's all done. I'm all set up. I think it's time to chime in. Hi. Oh, I can't hear anything. Why is that?
You're coming through fine.
These are not working. Oh,
No.
What?
What's going on?
I don't know.
That's right. Take your time.
Did none of that connect? Well, I mean, if it's working fine, then I suppose this will do. Okay. The only thing I wanted to, sorry, just now that I think of it, is this better or is it without better? Because I know that when I'm using this, I can hear every little thing that I'm doing. I don't know if you can hear that, but I can hear that. Thank you so much. I don't think I've ever had an intro like that. Thank you. That was very nice. Yeah, I do. I feel, yeah. Okay, yes. So if you have a preference, let me know. But I've picked three that I haven't published them. They're just ones that I wrote when I came back from Ireland recently, when I was overseas last year. And so they're new and they're completely different topics, all three of them, although they're not completely different to what I would normally write about anyway. The first one, do you want me to just go straight into it? Okay. This one is called Dear 12-Year-Old Me, and I'm sure we'll touch on it at some point, seeing as today's talk is going to be centered around poetry, but a lot of my poems that I write is about what happened to me when I was a child and then the healing that has had to come as a consequence. So just for a bit of a context with this poem. Okay. It's time we had a chat, catch up on everything since we ran away from home and all that. Dear 12-year-old me, freedom is no longer a fantasy. You see, 10 years from now, you're going to run away and find everything that helps you heal one day at a time. I just want you to know that was already 10 years ago. And in life, although the healing journey is hard, the strife is almost worth all the cards that life has dealt us over the years. So I just wanted to check in on you to remind you that your fears, whilst valid and real, can also help create your valor and feel like a tool in your case, helping you ride out and win this race, almost like reverse guidance. You can take your fear, use it to your advantage, and make it what motivates you to the highest level in your playing field. Remember, you only have to play the game if you want to win its final shield. So choose wisely, because if age has taught me anything, it's that you really are the choices you make wildly, the ones that take courage, that ask you to go against the grain, the ones that make you stop and question your restraint, the ones that write your path, placing you on a trajectory of right or wrong, and at last you break away from the image your parents created for you, and you birth the one you get to grow all on your own just for you. Dear 12-year-old me, life is cruel to children, far more than I can stomach writing down, so I just wanted to check back in and help you realign your little crown. Dear 12-year-old me, don't give up ever. I know at 15 we will try, but I need you to remember, life won't always be like this. One day in the future, you will bathe in your own bliss. So for now, remain strong. Hold on to the hope of what's to come before long. For now, you belong. to the evils of some parents who know nothing but of what is wrong. For now, 12-year-old me, hold your head up high, because I promise one day there will be something worthy to see. Do you know, my grandfather contrasts this perfectly. He often used to insinuate, which would be the start of a discussion many a time in the beginning, but he would insinuate, it must have felt like jail before. I'm going to put on his accent. It must have felt like jail before, and now that you're out, Jesus, he's like, you must have so much, unfound freedom. And he's right. It literally, that's what it felt like. And even at times, even now, because as a consequence of everything that happened growing up, I have PTSD. And so there are things that trigger me here and there, although that's gotten much better over the years. But every now and again, I am reminded of how initially, when I first ran away from home, it felt like I had been wrongfully imprisoned, and then all of a sudden escaped, not even let out, escaped, and then now was trying to hide away, safe somewhere until I could, prove my innocence. Because initially I did feel still, my mom had such a manipulative hold on me that even after I had run away from home, I still felt like I was doing something wrong. If you just watched or recently watched the vlog before this one, you will know that I have just finished filming in this exact spot for that video. And whilst I am at it, I am going to endeavour to do the same thing, because I missed 2 days of reading with you all for the Lenten program, and I'm going to plan on not doing that again. However, so let's get straight into it, and then I need to get straight into packing up after that podcast, which I will talk to you about. It went really, really well. It was really, really nice. And I will, of course, put in snippets of it. Will have already put in snippets of it for you all. If you have any questions about any of the poems or anything I was talking about, because I know you can't hear what he was saying because I had headphones in, just ask me in the comments, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer as much as I can. But for today's Lenten program, Friday, when I'm filming this, it is Friday the 14th of March, Friday of the first week of Lent. It begins with, in quotations, Jesus said, "If your virtue goes no deeper than that of the scribes and I did this in the previous vlog, and I'm not sure what's wrong with my English at the moment, but I'm having a little bit of a mental blank lately, especially today. Let me just begin. If your virtue goes no deeper than that of the scribes, you will never get into the kingdom of heaven." Okay, end of quotations. Have you ever heard the statement, "I'm a good person. I haven't murdered anyone or stolen anything. I'm okay"? On one level, this is true. It is very good that we haven't been outrightly cruel or abusive towards people. Yet today's gospel highlights that the Christian life is much more than simply not killing someone or similar. Today's gospel comes from Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. Here, Jesus outlines the radical nature of the life and faith of which disciples are called. We are called to this style of life because it is how God himself is radically good, radically loving, and radically merciful. Oh, I love that. Jesus teaches that even something as seemingly small as name-calling sets us on a path towards hatred, a path that can ultimately lead to violence, whether by our own actions or through those we influence. When we denounce, vilify, or categorize others, we step onto a slippery slope that deepens division and fuels conflict. This truth resonates in the familiar saying, "One thing leads to another." Oh. Jesus invites us to recognize that virtue and goodness must go deep within us, into our mind and heart. As Lent begins, we are invited to reflect more deeply upon those small ways in which we reject God, his love and goodness. This is the process of interior fasting, fasting of the mind and tongue, which can enable the transformation of our mind and heart. And as we enter the second week of Lent, how can each of us participate in this internal fasting? What a beautiful, beautiful term there. Jesus, guide my thoughts and words that they may always be pleasing to you and bring me into your kingdom. Amen. Darren McDowell. Darren McDowell, sorry. What is wrong with me today? Okay, now, that whole notion of internal fasting alongside the words of being radically good, radically loving, radically merciful. I love where, in moments where you just, even if you feel it is justified that you want to be frustrated with someone, just always choose kindness, always choose empathy. And this sounds so, how shall I say, convenient. It sounds so, easier said than done. And of course it is. But that is so incredibly beautiful. Always reminding yourself, look, they mean well. And you know what, even if they don't, you allowing them to, essentially rage bait you, allowing someone to rile you up so much isn't worth it. Now, there are, of course, limitations to what I'm saying. I'm not at all suggesting that, allowing people to hurt you severely is at all okay. But for something, simple, like, for example, I'll be very vulnerable with you here. I have, and it's a byproduct of my childhood, I have this need to control my sense of organization. I need to feel in my life that everything is organized, everything is in its place. And it took me a long time to understand that not all, normal people, not, your average person doesn't necessarily feel that way. I thought every good functioning working adult felt that way. And it was a bit of a shock to my system when I realized, hang on a minute, not everybody shares that sentiment or values such. And, through therapy and things of the like, I have realized that that's not always a healthy thing. And I should be able to not want things to be perfect all the time. Perfectionism isn't actually perfect, ironically. So with that being said, I have a problem when sometimes, someone in my family that I live with might not put things back neatly the way that I would have done it, or wouldn't have cleaned up after themselves the way that I would have done it. And, I am quick to sort of get frustrated and be like, oh my gosh, I just want to live in a clean and tidy, organized home. Is that too much to ask for? And then I stop and I realize, hang on a minute. First of all, get off your high horse, Berna, because this is not your bloomin' house. This is my grandparents' home. And actually, I'm not even referencing my grandparents in this example. But to be fair, this is my grandparents' home. And, when I'm getting frustrated, I'll be honest, and my father won't mind because I'm actually being quite fair when I say this. I'm also referencing my father here, where my father might leave something out on the table. He might, whatever it is, right? And I'll get really irritated, and then I'll have to, of late, I'm new to this idea, new to the Christian approach of stopping and just being radically kind, like this just mentioned, and realizing, do you know what? It's really not that big of a deal. I can ask my dad, hey, in future, do you mind, putting it back because it bugs me? Or asking myself, is it appropriate that it bugs me to the level that it does? Am I being unrealistic or unreasonable? You get the idea. I've already chatted for about 7 minutes now. Never mind how long it took me prior to that to actually read this. So I think majority of this vlog is going to be in my office, because between the podcast and this chat, it's all been in here. Anyway, I have work in 45 minutes. My hair is not even done. It's actually still a little bit wet, unfortunately. But yes, I think I mentioned in the previous vlog, I don't think I mentioned in this vlog, I had the podcast this morning, and then afterwards it was so hot and sweaty. I didn't have the air conditioning on because I didn't want the background noise. And I was due anyway to do it. I went and washed my hair because I was feeling a little bit in need of one. And also I need to straighten my hair tomorrow, because tomorrow I have a big show in the city, which I'll talk to you more about tomorrow. I have a premiere that I've been invited to, so that's really nice. Anyway, I'm going to put the table back, and I'll tell you actually about the podcast in a bit. Okay, so I think you can see me. I'm just going to try and be productive. You know the saying, kill two birds with one stone, metaphorically, of course. I'm going to put this back and get ready for, whoops, okay, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get ready for work at the same time as debriefing you. The podcast! I have very weak upper body strength. The podcast went radically well. The podcast was amazing. First of all, the host was lovely. Like, you know how sometimes you have people that are just easy to talk to, it's a natural flow of conversation? That was literally what happened. Like, it was just so, so natural flowing and so easy to talk to. I had to pull the table out to put the ring light in front of it so I could get some decent lighting, even though when I saw it, it didn't actually look like it was that good. But it was wonderful. We spoke about culture. We spoke about being a content creator, you know, a bit about my childhood, mental health. We spoke about religion and of course, with a main focus on poetry. So I recorded bits of it. I know I said before that, you know, you can't hear him because of the headphones, but to be fair, I wouldn't have put him in anyway because I didn't seek his consent in the first place. I probably should have asked, but I just thought it wouldn't be appropriate because it's his podcast. Hence why you're only seeing snippets and you're not seeing, you know, any substantial amount because it's for your man's podcast. Yes, anyway, I've lost my train of thought, but it went very well. When it does come out, which I believe he mentioned it would be in about June, that the podcast, June? I need the weekend, thank the Lord it is Friday. Happy Friday. I believe, I've spoken so much, my tea's gone cold. First world problems. I believe it is out in June. So, if that be the case, I will, of course, share that with you. And, I will link it in the description box for you to be able to access. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And oh my gosh, the sweetest thing, I had no idea. At the start of the podcast, he showed my book. He had my book. That's so kind. Like, I can't tell you when, especially when I'm unaware of it, how, you know, heartfelt and just kind it is when I see that somebody has supported me by buying my book. Because honestly, this is one of my, it feels to me anyway like it's one of my biggest achievements. Like, I am very grateful to have achieved the things that I feel I have achieved. You know, for example, my 2 university degrees, my trips abroad, specifically the one where I stayed there and worked there. My relationship is an achievement to me, you know, because of the nature of it. You know, the returning relationship with my father's family and healing all of that, you know, these sorts of things. My content creation career, of course, my tutoring business career, but this is one of the tops to me. This is something else. And so to have noticed that someone had been kind enough to spend their own hard-earned money to support my work and then have it on their podcast to talk about, I'm touched. I'm actually so honored. It's just, what did I do right? I'm in a good mood, can you tell? Anyway, I have chit-chatted enough. I fear this vlog is now consumed with just chit-chat. So I'm going to finish what I'm doing, and then who knows when I'll see you guys next, if it's not today, because the rest of the day will be consumed with work. And then I have a date tonight with Jamie Fraser. I'm such an old lady. Musa and I were together last night. We finished Cobra Kai. We watched the last episode, which, by the way, very, very nice. Whoever the director was, hats off to them. They did a wonderful job. Which means tonight I can jump right back into Scotland and I can have a good old enjoyment session with Mistress Beecham and or Sassenach and Jamie Fraser, so I'm very excited. Also, before I start work and fix my hair, this is my, you know what, I should fix my hair first because this looks really funny. It's honestly just way too hot for anything, to be fair. It's in a ponytail and I think it really needs to be up in a bun off my neck. But anyway, thank God for air conditioning. It's Friday. I'm allowing myself, as usual on a Friday, to be a little bit more casual than I would otherwise be during Monday to Thursday, and my eyebrow is not staying right. Okay, anyway, I am wearing, if you remember, I think this was like a $5 top that I got in Kmart last year, a black and white striped top with gold buttons, and because it's so much later in the day, the sun is so much lower, and so it's coming in where it normally wouldn't when I'm filming these. Black pair of pants and some black sandals. I think this is probably my outfit for church on Sunday, which is going to be a bit difficult actually, because it's also St. Patrick's Day. I don't know how I'm going to manage jumping between the two, but anyway, I digress. I think this is going to be my outfit for church on Sunday anyway, so hopefully I can show you in better lighting without all of this on Sunday. And gold accessories to match. I feel like every time I wear gold jewelry, I'm almost wearing the same thing each time. What is my eyebrow doing? Anyway, to match the gold buttons on my shirt. All right, now I need to go to work. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Saturday. I haven't vlogged at all today because I have been busy, as you can see, getting ready. The best part of actually more than an hour I took today to straighten my hair, and now I am all dressed. So, shocker, surprise, I'm wearing green with black. I had no idea up until a couple of hours ago what I was going to wear, and then somehow the first outfit I tried on turned out to be the best. So, green off the shoulder top, lace sleeves. I love this. I have worn this so many times over the last, I think it's about 8 years that I've owned this top. Pleated black skirt with my block black heels, trusty heels that will last me all night. Black clutch, and of course, green and gold accessories. Now, I have to head off to meet my auntie, my dad, for the night. I will, of course, vlog whatever I can, but I think I'm actually limited with how much I'll be allowed to vlog, but we'll see. I'm in the car, as you can see. Now, sorry to be in such a rush with you all today. I would have ideally liked to have talked you through my makeup or something like that. I think I got a couple of questions lately asking me again about how I do my makeup. So I would have liked to have been able to just gone through that with you all. I did film a short. However, I'm not really sure how much I like it actually. So I'm a little bit superficially panicky right now because I first of all, I probably did the wrong thing, and I decided that I've got such a busy weekend, I have no downtime, so I tried to have a bit of that this morning and just read in my little reading nook and relax. But the thing is, then I think I just started getting ready too late, and like I mentioned, I only decided today what I was going to wear. So I felt like the rush unsettled me. Anyway, I then looked back at that short I filmed and went, oh, why does the outfit I'm wearing not look as good on camera as I think it does in the mirror? So now I'm just scared that my first red carpet, if I haven't mentioned, today is my first red carpet. I've never been invited to a premiere before, so this is exciting, and all of a sudden I've been invited to 2, by the way. I've got another one coming up in a week's time, which is insane. I've gone from never being invited to these things before, and all of a sudden I've been invited to 2 almost back to back, so which is lovely. But as a consequence, I would like my first red carpet to look really nice, and in my mind I was like, yes, I'm doing the right thing. I'll sort out an outfit Saturday morning because I am not going to go to the shops and buy anything new, and I have several outfits, to which I do. And so I put something together. This top I've had for, I'm going to say 8 years, because I've worn it so many times, especially when I first got it to weddings and things. Anyway, now I'm just wondering if my red carpet event is going to not go as the photographs anyway. I've got to make a video today. I've got to take content today, and I'm just worried that it's not going to look as nice as I would have hoped. But anyway, speaking of the event, I am on my way to the premiere of a theatrical show called Marvelous, and it's a parody of, as the name suggests, Marvel. So it's essentially, kind of like a circus performance meets theater, from what I've gathered anyway. And basically what you get to see them having a little bit of a laugh at the themes that surround Marvel. Now, I'm sure it's, an innocent laugh, but we shall see. I'm sure there's, no harm intended. But I was meant to dress up on theme, but I kind of refused to spend money on something I wouldn't wear again. I didn't see the point in spending money. Like, if it was something of interest that I would do again, for example, like a Harry Potter theme, I would gladly do, or an Outlander theme, like some sort of old time theme, etc. Right? But Marvel is just not my thing. And so, like, whilst I've enjoyed the odd film here and there, to dress up like a character, I just didn't see the point in spending that kind of money. So I said I'd wear something green to represent Hulk, even though I know it's the wrong green. And I put purple eyeshadow on today to try and tap into Hulk's shorts. So I attempted a little bit, but I'm not completely marveled up. So I think that's fine. Like I mentioned, I'm on my way to my auntie's. She's coming with me as my date, which is very, very sweet. I think that's going to be really nice. And then I'm going off to the theatre, to the play, and as promised, I'll do my best to vlog whatever I can. There, my auntie just pointed out the sign for the show we're heading to. Dinner time, we got here really early, which is nice. So my auntie Jill and I have gotten pizza for dinner. She got, I don't know what that is, Mama's special. What is Mama's special?
Grilled chicken.
Oh, chicken.
Aioli.
Oh, okay. Nice. And I, as usual, surprise, got a pepperoni pizza. Guys, we've arrived, and you can see in front of us there, that is the media wall, and you can probably see a little bit of the red carpet at the bottom where you go to take your photos. I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit shy with the vlogging because I'm very much out of my comfort zone, but I just want to quickly show you guys something. If nothing, at least the area where we get to wait before we go in, which is, it's very nice. It's just very hot. So hot that you can see my flyaways from the sweat that has made them fuzz back up. But you know what? Thankfully for a fan. I mean, wait, that's such bad English. Thank God for a fan. Alright, we're inside.